3, 2, we're live. Episode 18, and No One Told Me Hockey Podcast is a special episode today. Jack, what is going on? Why is it a special episode?
We have our first ever guest on the podcast today. Huge episode.
Our first ever guest. Ryan, what's going on?
Not much, guys. How are you guys?
We're doing good. Fletcher, you got to give a formal introduction. You can't just say the guy's name and expect people
Okay,
to
fair
know
enough. Ryan,
Ryan
is my all right. Ryan is my college roommate of 3 years, teammate, friend, brother, clan member. He's a good friend of mine. He's visiting me in Florida for a little vacation postseason for him. So thanks for coming on.
No, I appreciate it. But before we start, I think we got to clarify a clan member of what, because that's a little that's a little out there.
Clan member of the Feynman Sidorski clan. That's Ryan's last name. For
I just wanted to clear that up and not be associated with a different clan.
That was a tough one. Tough one, Fletch.
Okay, I'll just leave the podcast. That's a tough one.
Okay, so Ryan, what has been the best part of the road trip so far with Fletcher?
Oh man, the drive down. I think it's just fun spending time with him and making phone calls and talking to people like I haven't talked to in a while. Called Bags, our old equipment manager, and got a bunch of stories out of him that we haven't heard before.
Were you guys firing him up?
Oh yeah, he was fired up talking about the boys.
He probably loves that stuff.
He loved it.
It was probably like
I swear, like every.
We did that first day. Probably, I don't know. We got in the car at like 7:30, and then we stopped at nighttime at like 12:30 a.m. So I don't know. That's probably almost like 18 hours.
Oh, it's a long
You stopped in the morning?
Yeah, we stopped at 12:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get like a hotel?
Yeah. We actually stayed with like one of our friends who has an apartment. So we kind of like called him and we're like, "Can we make it to you?"
Have you guys been to the beach yet? Have you been to the beach?
Oh, we went, and I am so.
I was gonna say you both got pretty fair skin. We
are sun kissed.
Sun kissed. Next, the back of my legs are like leather right now.
Ridiculous.
He looks like Larry the Lobster on the back of the legs.
Literally Larry the Lobster.
Did you forget to apply back there?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I applied, but the reflection
That's a sneaky spot. That's a sneaky spot back there.
I had a sombrero on, sunglasses, a long sleeve shirt, and swim trunks, and somehow I still managed to get sunburn. Badly.
That's your favorite. It's your favorite.
Badly. I'm afraid of the sun. Ryan got a little bit too.
Yeah, I was definitely.
All right, so Ryan, could you give us the background of your playing history here, like where you started and how you kind of progressed to get to college?
Yeah, so I grew up in Buffalo, New York. So I guess that's a pretty big hockey town. I think my dad played hockey growing up. Nothing like super competitive, but I think he kind of pushed me into it growing up. And then it kind of took off from there. Was coached by some pretty big names: Matthew Pekka, Mike Pekka, Matthew Barnaby, Darcy Tucker. So I had some really good coaches growing up. And they definitely helped develop me a lot. And then I ended up playing for the Junior Sabres in the OJHL. And out of there, I was recruited to Union. Did 4 years at Union with Fletcher. And then went into the portal for my 5th year because of that COVID year. We didn't play. Went to UND. And then after UND, I was in Milwaukee Admirals in the AHL for 3-4 weeks. And now I'm retired.
So are you fully retired? Have you made the decision to stop playing for sure?
Yeah. No, I think I'm very content with how everything played out. I couldn't have asked for like a better career. You know, if Fletcher and I were talking freshman year and he would have told me I was going to go to UND for 1 year and then play in the AHL at the end of the regular season in the AHL, I would have laughed in his face and been like, "What kind of drugs you on?" Like I don't know, that was never really in my thoughts, but I mean, it kind of just fell into my lap, and it's been an amazing journey.
So when you were going into Union, did you were you thinking like I'll play college and then I'll be done, or were you thinking about playing pro, but then kind of, as you progress, you're like, maybe I'm kind of content with being done?
I always thought I would just play hockey and then go into the working world. I was kind of always like a school guy, so like school was very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess like I don't know, I didn't believe in myself that I could play pro. I'm my biggest hater, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I was ready to go in the working world, and I mean to have that COVID year and have the opportunity to go to UND and see what like their facilities and their culture's like, it was awesome.
That is cool. So we'll probably get to that, but how did you decide to go to the OJHL? Like, what made you decide to go there? Did you have other junior opportunities as well? Or?
No, I think kind of just being in Buffalo and Buffalo having that OJHL team. I mean, I played my 16U year with the Junior Sabres, and I got called up to the OJ team for 1 or 2 games, and then kind of just like made sense with high school. Like I was able to stay in high school with all my friends and stuff, so it was just super easy adjustment. Didn't have to miss too much school, stay home with the family. So I mean, I wouldn't. I loved it. I couldn't ask for anything more.
And how many years did you play there?
I just did 2. I did my junior and senior year of high school, so it wasn't bad.
And then you're off. And then you're off to college.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be. I was supposed to do another year. I was supposed to go to Sioux Falls in the USHL for the 3rd year, but someone left from Union. A defenseman left early, like transferred out of there. So like they called me in a year early. But yeah, they gave me like 3 weeks to do my application for college. You're like, yep, you got to do this in 3 weeks, and here you go. It was kind of like a crazy turnaround.
So you were planning to go to Sioux Falls, and then within 3 weeks you were at college?
Not at college, but like had to do like the applications, and then like I had like whatever month and a half of summer. But yeah, it was a crazy turnaround, like getting everything ready. Like I think my parents weren't even really ready. Like my mom was like what? Like fully expecting like to have like another year to prepare for this. But yeah, definitely stressed her out.
Yeah. Did you feel like you were ready to go into school, or do you think you could have used the extra year?
I don't know. I'm a very shy and quiet guy, so I was definitely super nervous going into it. But like I think even with another year of juniors, I think it would have still been the same. Like I would have just been as nervous.
Okay.
But yeah, like the first month or so, like first 2 months, I'd say of college, was definitely tough for me. Never living away from home, so like. I don't know, I was definitely homesick. Like I was like, what am I doing? Like definitely had those thoughts going through my head. And just like obviously not in the lineup right away. So that was like also a new thing for me. So the adjustment was definitely hard.
Yeah.
But I mean, it ended up working out. Like worked out for the best. But yeah.
Well, last one I got for you. What was your first impression of Fletcher when you got to school?
This is a good story. This is a good story.
This is a good one.
Ryan, tell him. I'm going to tell the first bit of this, and then you're going to tell your side of this.
Yeah. But we were texting a little bit beforehand, right? Like we were messaging.
Yeah, like we kind of knew each other. We kind of were texting a little bit, but this is actually.
Oh, wait, are we going the actual first time we met?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the pre-college.
Okay, pre-college.
So,
This is a crazy story. So I'm gonna tell it from my point of view, and then Ryan's gonna tell it from his point of view. So at like the USA festival, like how like you stay at like the dorms, like Buffalo dorms.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at University of Buffalo. I flew in, so I get to Buffalo, like I take a bus to the rink, like to get to the rink. I drop off my gear. Fuck my Wi-Fi.
You're good.
Are you by there? Okay.
Yeah. I can cut that out.
Okay. All right. So I take a bus to the rink. I get to the rink, and now I need a ride to the hotels, like to where we're staying.
Mm-hmm.
By random chance, somebody picks me up, like a hockey player.
Just random person picks you up.
like a random car. There's like 10 cars there, and I just like start going to the cars. I'm like, is anybody like taking anybody to the hotel?
Got your thumb up. You got your thumb up.
Yeah, like literally
Hitchhiking there.
So I finally say like a car, which happens to be, now I know, Ryan's car, is like, yeah, like we're going to the hotel. And I was like, oh, awesome. So I hopped in the car, and Ryan and his buddy drove me to like the college dorms that we were staying in. And I don't even know, Sid, on
How
that
did you
ride.
piece that together?
Well, now Ryan, tell his story. So we ended up talking about this like later on.
Yeah, I think
So
it was like our
Sid, tell,
sophomore
like,
year
your-
of college. We finally figured it out. Like, yeah, I don't know how we figured it out, but like we ended up sophomore year. Yeah, we like kind of like pieced it together. Like, were you at the USA camp? Like, yeah, like got a ride from someone from the airport. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I gave someone a ride to the airport, like wherever you were going. And I think it kind of like determined, like, I think it was you. Like, we're like 99% positive, like it was each other. But yeah,
Ginger, white, kind of scrawny.
Yeah, scrawny, white, annoying voice. Yeah, that's him. Sounds like a chainsaw. Yeah, that's him. So picked him up. So anyway, so we ended up picking each other up, and then Ryan corrupted me in college. I would say I was a pretty innocent person.
No.
No. I think
opposite.
me and we got along right away. Yeah, opposite. Maybe a little bit of the opposite. But I know I met him early freshman year. We weren't roommates, but then we kind of like spent a lot of time together. And then sophomore, junior, senior year, we lived together.
Yeah. My first impression of Fletch was mature. He's a very mature guy. In all honesty, you're a very mature guy.
The thing about him is he likes to come off when you first meet him as he's Mr. Serious, like I'm gonna shake your hand and be all serious. But then if you give him like a week or two, he turns into like a little kid. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's
a good one. That's a good one.
Well, did you guys ever? Okay, go ahead, Fletcher.
I got a question for Ryan. Going back to the juniors thing. So like, we hope that like the target market for like the podcast is like that youth group, right? So people listening, like kind of going through things that like they didn't really know about juniors. Like for you stayed in your hometown, which is awesome. Like, can you kind of talk a little bit about like if it was like it being nice to stay at home? Like a lot of people are quick to move away. So like if you're living in Florida, maybe
really quick,
you're searching to get out of town versus finding the junior program that's close to you.
Yeah, I guess like the biggest pro for me, looking back, was just staying at home. Like there was no adjustment. Like it was just I was going to play hockey like any other team I played for before. I mean, travel was easy. I think our farthest game was like a 4-hour bus trip. Like you do day trips, go back, go to school the next morning. Didn't miss school, so like wasn't any burden in there. And just just being with your family, like home cooked meals. It's nice. Like you see your family, your dogs, your pets, your friends. Like, I didn't miss any of that. And I guess like I don't know, Con, like talking to you, Fletch, and other guys, is like you guys like met all these players like throughout your years and juniors. Like I just definitely would say like a bigger, more diverse group of hockey players than I do. Like just because you played with all these guys, so I would just say that's my takeaway. Like
that is interesting. I feel like too also like living at home is like if you're like living away and say like I think me and Fletch moved away at the same time to play juniors at like 17. You get there and then if you're not doing well or something, you can kind of feel like you're on an island by yourself. Whereas like you're at home. If you're not doing well, like you get to at least go home to your family every day and like feel that support. Whereas like us, like I think I was living like with like myself and like a billet family. So I was, kind of by myself. And if you're not doing well, it's like, who do you go to? So I think that is,
I would say like that was exactly how I felt. Oops, sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was going to say like, that's exactly how I felt like those first 2 months of college. Like I didn't really have like, I wasn't used to like not having anyone to like fall back on or talk to. Like I definitely did feel isolated. So like, I mean, that's probably like getting that a little younger in juniors. I feel like probably could help you in prepare for your first year of college or so. But yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, I had no. I would do it again if I had to. I'd stay home and spend that extra time with my family for sure.
That's awesome.
Fletcher,
That's kind of
hear it. Okay.
yeah. I'd say that's kind of
Okay.
like what I not expected you to say, but that's kind of like there's no need for people to rush away and go find some random program, right? If there's one near your house and it works for you, like I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and
Well, especially I think if you're a like, go
I was
ahead,
gonna say,
Ryan.
yeah, especially like if you're a good player, like scouts and coaches will find you. Like, and it's something about when you're younger, like you want to get as much ice time as possible. It's like I think going early to some of these junior leagues where like you're going to be the sixth, seventh defenseman or fourth line forward. Like I think sometimes you're better off just being the star on your local team or a local team in your area, like getting as much ice time and development as possible.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Especially like if you have, let's say, or if you have like a good AAA team around you and you can still compete at that level and play a lot, you know, instead of rushing off to go move away to play tier 3 somewhere. I definitely think that's a good option for kids. I don't think there's a need to rush away from home as much as like social media and stuff makes it seem like you have to be. If you're not 16 and in the USHL, you're falling behind essentially. Is what it seems like, like on social media and stuff.
Absolutely. I want to give touching on the social media side of thing. One thing that I've always respected in Ryan, like he doesn't really care about the social media side of things at all. Like all the way to, you know how like people will tweet like, I'm going this place, like thank you to this place, and like this and that. Ryan made the jump from Union to North Dakota, and
not a peep. Nothing
came out. Like what? Like nothing came out. Like what? But you'd think like everybody would hear that and be like, oh my god, like it's gonna be so cool. Like I'm gonna tell all these people and this and that, and I'm gonna be the man. Like you don't have to do that. Like go be the man on the ice. Like you don't have to be the man on the social media.
Yeah, I think my only tweet ever was announcing my commitment to Union. That was my only one.
Your only tweet ever.
I think it'll be my only tweet forever.
One tweet.
I'm done.
And you were like 16, right? 16 or 17.
Yeah, it was like you had to do it.
You were like right in the prime spot.
That one guy would like have to like retweet it, and then like colleges would know like, all right, this kid's committed.
It's a crazy world.
That's unreal. Did you know Fletcher used to post a couple pictures with his shirt off? He used to post pictures.
Oh no!
On his
I gotta get the details from this one.
Yeah, he's got pictures. Tell him. Did you give him the clip? Did you tell him about the story of the summer camp?
I don't think I did. Really briefly, because whoever
give it really quick. Yeah.
Basically, like in between sessions at a summer camp. Like it was a great session, and then the kids got off the ice, and then the kids came back on the ice, and they're just like laughing at me. Like I got 16 little kids just laughing at me, like peewees. And I'm like, fine. I'm like starting to ignore it. I thought like maybe it's me, maybe I have tape on my back or something. And I finally said like, what is going on? And one of the little kids is like, we found your Instagram. I was like, oh boy. They're like, you have a shirtless picture. I was like. These are like guys and girls, like middle school guys and girls. So immediately I deleted all of them. So I got bullied by Pee Wee. Delete Instagram pics.
Deleted shirtless pictures on Instagram. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So I got a question for you. What do you think the biggest like difference was for you going from Union to UND?
Oh man. Well, I think for me it was. I had a job lined up after UND. Like I knew if hockey didn't work out or I wanted to be done, I would have a job. So I guess I was just carefree. You know, I didn't stress about making mistakes. I just played hockey. You know, I just played hockey to have fun, and I think that was just definitely the biggest difference. Like I wasn't stressed out about it as much as I was at Union. It allowed me to play.
Was it a little bit more enjoyable? Was it more enjoyable that you didn't have that stress on you?
Oh, 100%. Like going to the rink every day. Like I wasn't like Union and Fletcher. You could attest to it. Like we were pretty stressed out. Like some days going to the rink because we knew we were gonna get bag skated or we are gonna have a hard day. Like, and UND, like I knew it wasn't gonna be like that. Like I knew like from my time at Union, like I could survive anything that UND was gonna throw at me, and yeah, not being stressed out. Like I think I played the best hockey of my life that year. Like this past year, like no stress, nothing.
Do you also think it was partly due to that you weren't necessarily planning to go there after Union, and it kind of just because then it kind of fall on your lap a little bit into your lap? Like
Yeah,
you didn't have the plan to like go there after.
No, I was supposed to. I was verbally committed to Canisius, and then I think Fletch. We were driving back to Union at the time.
Yeah, I think we were actually driving home. I think we were. Yeah, I think
we were driving from Florida.
Yeah, I think we were driving back. Yeah, from Florida to Union. This is actually a great story.
This is a great story. So I get a text message in the car, and it says, "Hey, this is Carl from UND." Yeah, this is Carl from UND. Do you have time to talk? Interested in connecting? And I go to Fletcher like,
have you heard of the program? Right? Didn't it say, Ryan, didn't the text message say, like, have you heard of the program?
Yeah, it did. It did say something along those lines, like, have you heard of us? I'm like, what?
I'm like, yes, we just played 4 years.
So, yeah, I thought it was a prank call. I thought it was someone on our team pranking me. It's like, I'm notoriously bad at saving numbers. So I just thought it was someone on our team at Union. So I go through Fletcher's phone, looking this number up. Nope, doesn't have the number saved. So I give it a couple hours, calling some of the guys on the team, like, yo, are you pranking me? Like some of the jokesters. No. So I text him back like, hey, can talk whatever this time tomorrow, because we were still driving. So next day I'm like still expecting it to be a prank call, like at a time this guy's supposed to call. No, I was like actually the coach. I was like, oh my god, like what is happening right now? Like so like it's so surreal. I was like, what? This can't be real.
So when was that call like throughout the year?
April, May.
I think it was like April, May, yeah. Like late April, early May. So it was fairly late in the process, yeah.
Right. Oh wow. You would have figured they would have already kind of had their stuff aligned for the going into the next year, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, it was. I think someone left early for. They went overseas to like ended up just playing in Europe. Like just left early. They were expecting him to be there another year. And yeah, he just left.
So what, like going into like the first like couple weeks, what was like the biggest like wow factor to you of going in there? I guess another like thing, that difference between like other colleges that you'd been to, played at.
Yeah, the biggest thing I would say is the facilities. I mean, Fletcher toured the room like the first couple weeks. I was getting lost in the locker room. That's like how big this thing is. Like, I can't even put into words how nice it is. Like, and like Union's not bad. Like I would be 100% fine with Union's locker room. I mean, we played there for 4 years and it was fine. Like it did everything we had, or it was like it had everything we needed. And then you get to UND and it's like, wow, I guess like this is how the other half lives. Like the Alabama of football, I'd say. Like it's just like the amount of money that's poured into that place and the donations they get. Like it's a special place. Like 12,000 fans. It's I don't even know how to describe it, Fletch. Like you could try to help me out here. Like you saw it.
Oh, it was insane. Like I kind of talked about it a little bit when I got back from visiting, but I mean, can you like, Ryan, can you talk about like the recovery room? Like that, just this is like amazing.
Yeah, the recovery room. It's like they just redid it this past summer. And they put like $1 million into it. It's got water beds, Normatec therapy beds, red light therapy, sleeping pods that are like it's just out of this world.
Do they have a sauna?
Yeah, so like that was our like recovery room, and then in our actual locker room we have hot tub and sauna, and then like our trainer has
And
cold
steam
tub,
room.
underwater treadmill, steam room. Yeah, it's incredible.
A eucalyptus steam room. Now, I hear eucalyptus steam room, and the first thing I think of is like, okay, it's gonna smell like steam. Like, there's no way it actually smells like eucalyptus.
It definitely smells like eucalyptus.
Oh my god! We opened the door when Ryan was showing me around. It smelled like heaven. If heaven had a scent, that's how good it was.
It'll clean your sinuses out for sure.
Oh yeah, that's a nice feature, and the hot tub was unbelievable. Like morning practices, you get to the rink, just hop in the hot tub for 5-10 minutes, feel good, like ready to go. Video, little stretch, hit the ice. It was so nice.
Hot
Wait,
tub.
you would go in the hot tub before practice?
Oh yeah, guys who get there like 5-10 minutes early, and just hit the hot tub for a couple minutes, loosen up, and
Did it have
start their
chlorine
morning
in
off.
it? Did it have chlorine in it?
I think so, but it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't like I think a very like
Okay.
small dose. So you'd like take a like a
Have you
warm
ever
shower
gotten out
right
of like
after.
Okay, that's good. Have you ever gotten out of like a pool or anything and you're real chloriney? That's the worst feeling.
Yeah, oh
So-
yeah.
Yeah, but they got the hot tub connected to the shower. So say there was chlorine. Now I'm out of the hot tub. I'm into the shower, and boom, now I'm good.
Yeah, no, the guys would. Yeah, we would all rinse off like just like get 30-second rinse right after. But yeah, it was like you're ready to go. Good start to the morning.
That is a solid start.
That is so great. That is so great. Can you talk, Ryan? Can you talk about like your first time skating out with the fans? Like that's got to be just like the coolest thing ever.
Oh yeah, so it was a preseason game against. I'm not even remembering. It was some Canadian college.
Manitoba.
And Manitoba. And like you know how like teams have like the tunnel and they usually like to have their logo like the Sharks have like the shark head like they skate out of the tunnel. It's like we didn't have that, but we had like flamethrowers like on each side of the blue line. So you're skating out like your name's getting announced on a huge jumbotron, and then like flames are just spitting out next to you. Like it was like pretty surreal. Like the fans are going nuts. Like I don't think it was sold out that night, but like there were probably 9,000 to 10,000 people there, and like I don't know, I haven't experienced that in a long time. And they go crazy. I mean, the fans are like just different. Like they're so serious about the hockey, and they'll let you know about
you
it.
guys get? I was gonna say, did you guys get booed at all during the year?
We never got booed, but the guys did say don't look at social media. Try not to, because especially if you're doing bad. But like I kind of loved looking at it because I thought I mean I'm not very serious, so I think it's funny and I take everything with a grain of salt. But yeah, like a couple of those, like I think we lost like 2 in a row, and you would have thought like we killed like everyone's grandma. Like we would thought we were the worst people in the world. Like and then like we win the next game, it's like oh my god, UND hockey's back, like greatest program in the history. Like it's so polarizing. Yeah.
Serious question here. Do you think Fletcher could handle the social media parade that he would get?
Oh, it'd be like, why
is he a bad turnover?
It'd be like, why is this guy icing the puck 7 times a game?
A bad turnover at the blue line, tied 2-2.
Like,
they 12, go up 3-2.
Can number 12 stop shooting it out of play? I actually really
story going to that one.
All right, I will, but I actually really enjoyed. I enjoyed watching the social media because I'd send it to Ryan. Because for me, like, I got to be a fan. Like I thought it was hilarious.
You have no skin in the game. You have
no skin in the game. I could have had a burner account. Tweeting stuff too.
Just going after only him. Just going after Sid the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I would send him the tweets, which was like kind of funny.
That is funny.
No, I did appreciate that. And going off that, my girlfriend came to visit, and she took an Uber from the apartment to the arena, and the Uber driver was chirping the transfers. It was me, Ty Farmer and Drew DeRitter. Like this guy was ripping us apart, and she starts laughing, and the guy goes, "Oh, I hope you're like not dating any of those guys." She goes, "No, like I am." And then he goes, "I hope it's not Sidorski." And she starts laughing even more. She goes, "Oh yeah, it is Sidorski." And like the guy, like, it was kind of funny. Like that, the Uber driver, just chirped, like ripping me apart.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's funny. Oh, that is funny.
That is unreal. That is unreal. Fletcher, you got another question?
These things. We got the first skate out. We got, all right, I got one for you, Ryan. I don't know if I know this one. What would you say? I probably guess. What would you say is the best UND memory? Could be a weekend, could be a game, could be a goal, could be a loss, could be anything. What would you say is the best? Could it be the Vegas weekend?
Yeah, I think it had to be that Vegas week. That was a special trip.
That's cool.
That was fun. I know we didn't win, but
yeah,
I'll go into it. Yeah, so we did. UND hosts this, what they call it, Hall of Fame game every couple years. I think last year was in Nashville for the guys. This year was in Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. So yeah, like the whole week leading up to it, like we were in Vegas, and like Vegas was just like a sea of green, UND green. Like they had the billboards. UND fans are known for like traveling pretty well. It's like you would walk on the Vegas Strip and you would just see like hundreds of UND fans. So it was like pretty surreal.
Dang.
And then we played ASU this year, so special jerseys, gloves. They had their special helmets, jerseys, like pretty like cool scene there. And then I think T-Mobile was like almost sold out. Like so it's a crazy crowd. Like I mean it was surreal like being in Vegas. Like I've never been there before. So like guys are gambling in the morning and then like practicing in the afternoon, then game tomorrow. Like it was like I don't know, it was pretty funny.
What time of the year was it? Was it in the season?
This was early on. This had to be November, I think, like early November. It's like pretty early on, yeah.
And I've always wondered this, like whenever they do like the Winter Classics or stuff like this, what did they do with your gear after, like all the specialty stuff?
So we had special warm-up jerseys. They auctioned those off right like during the game, and then Ralph Engelstead is the guy or the family that like donated the rink, and they like donated a ton of money to UND hockey. So their foundation actually like helps put this together. So they're in charge of everything. So the jerseys we wore during the game, like their own auction company like auctions those off like they'll auction maybe like 3 or 4 next year, and then like 3 or 4 like the following year. So like they'll auction these jerseys off for like years and years to come. But yeah, like anyone can buy those jerseys. But yeah, they raise a lot of money for the team going forward.
Do you know what for the warm up jerseys, what the highest auction was? Like what the highest buy was?
This is cool. Ryan, tell me the thing you're just telling me about those other jerseys.
Yeah, so I know for our equipment manager has like all the non-Ralph Engelstead jerseys, like from the non-special games, and he's been there for 6 years, and I'm pretty sure he said he has raised over $200,000 in jersey sales. So he was like, I was like, what's the most expensive jersey you sold? And he's like some of those Besser and Tays, like some of those older jerseys, like he said it'll go for like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is cool. That is cool. I saw one in Fairbanks, Alaska, for the Fairbanks Ice Dog go for $5,000 at a home game for their.
That's insane.
For a junior hockey player. It's crazy. Yeah, that is really cool though.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Did you guys go to a pool party? Any pool parties during the
no pool parties. A lot of casinos.
Yeah, hell yeah. What hotel did they put you guys up at for that? Do you remember?
I think it's Park MGM. It was right across from T-Mobile, so we just like walk the rink every morning.
That's so
and practice.
Sweet. Yeah, did you guys
have the day?
That's the best. Like, yeah, right there. The rink is literally right off the strip. It's pretty crazy over there. That whole setup that Vegas has. It's really cool.
Yeah, and like I think the one day, like the second day we were there, like they gave us tickets to the Vegas game, so just got to watch Vegas versus I think it was Anaheim. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
But it was, I mean,
That's
very professional, like how they do things there for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fletcher, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I mean, would you want to go into Milwaukee, like the transition out of UND?
Yeah, I could
My
talk about
Wi-Fi is so
Milwaukee.
bad. My Wi-Fi is so bad.
It's not terrible.
It is
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, so what? So you finish up at UND, and then were you planning on again being done with hockey at that moment, or were you kind of looking to play like a few games pro just to get your feet wet and maybe say you did it or try it out? How did that go?
Yeah, so I think I have to go back a little bit. I think I have to go right around Christmas break.
Okay.
Huge snowstorm in Buffalo, so I got delayed. So I didn't end up showing up to UND like 4 or 5 days later than all the other guys. So I can get there, and the guys obviously been practicing since. We have a game, I think Friday. I think I got there like Wednesday. So I was kind of definitely needed a couple more practices to get back into it. I think we played NDDP, so it's just an exhibition game. So the coach like, yeah, like we'll just do some extra skates, whatever. And then like he pulled me aside after the skate. This Carl, our D coach, and he's like, "Hey, have you like ever thought about playing after school here?" And I was like, "Honestly, like no, not really." He's like, "I think you should give it a shot. Like I think you could play in the AHL this year, like at the end of the year." So I was like, "Oh, like." I was like, wow, like, okay, like, yeah, I kind of thought about it, like, started thinking about it, honestly, around Christmas time. And I was like, I still had the job lined up in New York City. So I was like, you know what, like, I think it'd be cool, like, end the season, playing in the AHL, like, it'd be, like, just to say I played for hockey. It's pretty cool. Like, not a lot of people get to say that. So, yeah, end of the season ends, and talking to the agent in Milwaukee ended up having some interest, so I ended up going there. And, I mean, it was an unreal experience. Like, that first, like, kind of got thrown right into it. I think I had 2 practices and then my first AHL game. So, like, yeah, it's kind of a whirlwind of events like that week after. But super cool. I'd say the biggest difference between AHL and college, just a little bit faster, and it's just more structured. I feel like a lot more structure and a little bit more speed.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, it's still hockey. Nothing earth shattering.
What? So you were still in college when you went there, right? You guys weren't done with school yet.
Yeah, no. School was still going on. Yeah.
So were you doing? How did that work with like transitioning out of school going to play there? Were you doing online classes or were you on pause or?
I ended up withdrawing from school.
Oh.
But I know like the other guys that went pro, they all took online classes, and they were like the teachers were pretty flexible.
Okay.
Like they gave them extensions on stuff.
They're pretty yeah.
Yeah, like they're like I never had any issues with the professors at Union or like UND. Like they're very flexible and they understand. Like sometimes like pro hockey, like you got to take a little pause in school.
Yeah, definitely. Can I get your? I want your honest thoughts on Milwaukee as a city.
I think it's very similar to Buffalo. Like I see a lot of similarities in my hometown. But yeah, I had a good experience. Like the Bucks are right there, the Brewers, hockey. Like so, the owner of Milwaukee Admirals. Also
I played with his son.
Brewers. Yeah, and he got us tickets to the Brewers home opener. He gave us Morgan Wallen tickets. He's got a box with the Bucks. So, like there's a lot of perks. Like hockey players get a lot of perks there. Yeah, so it's a nice setup.
Yeah, Harris Tur. He's a good guy. I met him quite a bunch. Like I was good friends with his son, so I would go to some of the games, like the Brewers games and stuff. And yeah, he's a super nice guy and always willing to help out. He got a key to the city actually like 2 weeks ago in Milwaukee.
I think I did see that. Cool. Yeah, I think I might have been there for that actually. But yeah, he was super nice. Like obviously he doesn't have to do that stuff for like the players. Like just a good guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He seems really invested into that team. Like I think he takes that team to like heart. Like that's like his baby of a team, I think. So that's pretty cool. Fletch, you there?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's like cutting in and out for me, so I'm trying to not say much to ruin the podcast.
Okay.
But I have a question. I have a question for Ryan. Was there a, and this is kind of cool, I guess, for listeners. Was there like a wow, like I'm playing in the AHL moment? Like, was there a teammate that you had that you were like, whoa, like this guy's played a ton of NHL games? Or was there like a shift maybe where you were like, oh my gosh, like I just made a D2D pass in an AHL game? Was there anything like that? Or was it just kind of normal? Because I kind of foresee that being somewhere in the middle.
I mean, I think like warm-ups of that first game, I was like, oh my God, like doing this, like this is happening. But yeah, like I'd say somewhere in the middle. Like I was like, I was kind of wild, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, it's just another hockey game. Like you try to calm yourself down, like not like think too much into it. But yeah, no, I was more excited that like my parents got to see that, like got to see my first couple games.
They were there.
Yeah,
That's
they
cool.
made the drive. Like so, I was happy for them. Like I mean, just looking back at like all the time, the money, sacrifices they made, so I could like play college and I mean, I don't think they would have ever thought like going back all those years ago, like that I'd ever play pro hockey. So for them, I think that was a huge payoff for them. And I mean, I'm just glad they got to see it. Like it's cool that we shared that experience together.
Is there during warmups? Do you have to wear a helmet in the AHL?
Yeah. Fletcher tried telling me to go no bucket.
I tried getting him. I tried. I said take it off. I said no bucket.
No, I didn't even have a rookie lap either. No rookie lap either, so it was fine.
No. Just right into it. That's awesome.
Right into it, yeah.
That's awesome.
Really
Fletcher,
cool.
I know you've been so do you have another question? Because I don't want to cut you off.
I mean, I think an underrated thing that he kind of glossed over. He got to go to a Morgan Wallen concert at the Brewers Stadium. That is awesome.
That is cool.
That is
very
awesome.
cool.
So I don't know. I just wanted to circle back to that. It's kind of cool.
All right, so I got to ask you a question. Who do you have winning the cup this year? What's your predictions
Panthers. I kind of want
the
Panthers.
He's all in, baby. He's all in.
You're in on it. Oh,
I'm kind of all in on the Panthers.
Does that partly have to do with Fletcher? Is Fletcher convincing you to be in on them?
You know, it definitely plays a part, but I think just after beating the Bruins, like, I mean, that's hard to do. That was a good team. Probably arguably one of the top 5 teams in the NHL. And they beat them, and then, I don't know. I don't see who's stopping them.
No one's stopping him. And guess what? Guess who's going to be in the crowd at 6:30? Coral Springs, Florida, Panther Parkway, exit 67. Me and Ryan sitting in Lord Stanley's loft, baby. We're going to be there.
Are you?
Yep, we're going today. We're going. Matthews better watch out.
Ooh.
Ride or die.
Where are you guys sitting?
We actually have somebody who used to work with
sitting outside. You're not going in there.
Somebody that used to work with our team. He was a senior when we were freshmen. He was our hockey ops manager. And now he's the director of media relations for the Panthers. So he kind of hooked us up, and like it's gonna be great to see him. He's awesome. So we'll see him kind of in between periods and after the game, and then watch the Panthers win 5-0. That's my prediction.
I was just gonna ask you what's your prediction. 5-0. That's what you're going with?
With me in the crowd, I don't know how it can't go any other way.
Now, okay, I got a question for you guys. How do you feel about grown men wearing jerseys to games? What's the take on that?
Not doing it. Not doing it.
I think like once you hit 21.
Hold on. We're not going to gloss it. Hold on.
I think once you hit 21 years of age, you should no longer be wearing another man's jersey.
That's a
21's like
I think that is
age.
a perfect age. I think that as soon as you can start drinking, shut down the jersey wearing. There's a flip right there. Like,
or do you start wearing jerseys at 20. Maybe customize. Put your own last name on the back. You put your own last name on the back.
That is even worse. You can't, if you're gonna do a custom jersey, you can't go with like your actual last name either. It has to
Why
be
not?
like some sort of joke. Do you have a Feynman Panthers jersey?
I may somewhere. No, I don't.
Yeah, what about, okay, I agree with that. What about face paint? When do you think that gets shut down? Or do you think you started at an older age?
Will Ferrell had the checkerboard on his face at the LA Kings game.
Now, I was thinking about that. Do you think it's because he wants to, do you think, because he had the beard, right? And like, if you saw that face paint, you couldn't even tell it was really him. Do you think he did that thinking like, I'm going to go there so I can like hide my face and no one will really know it's me?
I could see
they caught on.
that. I could see a little bit of that.
Because I had no idea it was him. I had no idea it was him at first. So,
It's pretty cool. So we got Panthers tonight. Got Panthers again on Wednesday. Maybe we go again. I don't know. We'll see.
Back-to-back games. Now, will you go if they lose? If they lose tonight, are you going to go the next night, or is that out the door?
I mean, it would kind of be on me if they lost, I feel like, so maybe I don't go. No, I don't know. We'd probably go. It's such a cool, I don't know. It'll be awesome. I've only been to one other playoff game, Devils Panthers back in 2014.
Now, how has their playoff like vibe been in the stadium?
Supposedly,
I guess you haven't been to a game yet.
Yeah, but supposedly the last game they played, it was game 6 against Boston. People were saying, like people, as in like my friends that grew up going to games, said that was the loudest they'd ever heard it. Now, I'd hope that was the loudest they'd ever heard it, because considering that's that's the only reason.
It might not be that. It might not even be that loud.
I was gonna say that's
the loudest they've ever heard it.
Yes, I can't say it's beating like the Bruins, like the Garden or Chicago or anything like that, but hopefully it'll be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. That'll be cool. Who else do we got on the slate for tomorrow? Isn't there 3 games on today? Or am I mistaken?
There's 3. Dallas and Seattle plays, and Carolina Islanders play as well today.
Carolina Islanders?
Oh, sorry. Carolina Devils.
I'm telling you, dude, Dallas is the team to beat right now.
They look good. Pavelski having 4 goals in one game is kind of impressive.
How about 2 guys having 4 goals in a game in like back-to-back nights?
And both losing.
And they both lost.
Yeah.
He had his guy. He did his job.
How many goals did Edmonton have that night? Do you know off the top of your head?
4.
I think it was
4. He had all.
Yeah.
So they both had all 4 goals. That's crazy.
Are they leaving that? Are they leaving the room satisfied? They just had 4 goals in an NHL game, or are they upset that they lost? Maybe combo.
Did you see Draisaitl's interview after the game?
No, what did he say?
He made a comment about that. He's like, "Well, we still lost the game." So, and he seemed pretty pissed. Like I actually believed him. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't know. I think he's still kind of juiced that he scored 4 goals.
Yeah, you just have 4 goals. You're 7 goals. He's 7 goals away. He's 7 goals away from the NHL record.
I think I'd be more pissed that no one else on my team scored.
Yeah, like what am I doing?
I got to do it all. Yeah, I had my guy.
That is awesome. So we got that game. It was last night. They won 5-1, 6-1. Edmonton won. So I don't know.
Yeah.
The Cats are the team to beat. I'm all in on the Cats. Sid's all in on the Cats. You're all in on the Cats.
All right. I'm not. All right, both of you. What's your second team that you're going for besides Florida that you think could win?
I think I got Carolina.
Carolina. He's going with the East.
That's a good
one. I think Dallas or Carolina. Dallas or Carolina.
Carolina's looked pretty good lately, so I would have to agree with that. Oh, wow. What else we got, guys? Fletch?
Little hockey review. We talked about Sid. Talked about UND, Milwaukee juniors. How's the triathlon training going?
Oh, let me get into this for a second. So I got my bike tuned up last week. So I'm like, all right, it's all good to go, ready to ride. I rode it once this week. It was fine. I go to ride today or yesterday. It's a 2-hour bike ride I'm supposed to ride. So I'm like, I'm getting prepared. I get on the bike. The front tire has a flat tire essentially. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just got this thing tuned up. So now I call them and they say they don't touch the tires when they do a tune up.
But you gave them a bike with a good tire. They gave you a bike with a bad tire.
That's what it seems like. That's what's starting to add up in my head. Now, do you think they liked my tire and they needed another one, so they took it off mine and they're like, oh, we'll just throw on an old one, and now I got a bad tire?
They gave you a flat.
So now I can't so I told you the uphill bike battle, and I'm still in my head about that. So I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to ride the bike at the triathlon. I'm getting real nervous about this whole bike situation at this triathlon. So
Ryan's a big biker. So if we really wanted to do the fastest triathlon,
could ship me his.
No, maybe Ryan does the bike. The bike.
Okay.
You do the run.
What would you?
Because I'm such a good
swimmer.
What would you do? I'm doing the swimming.
Fletcher might have the
You think that would be your best event?
Ever.
Wait,
I would agree.
I just did a little swim with Ryan the other day, and I was struggling. Treading.
Where was it at? Was it at a lap pool?
No, we were in Mother Nature ocean. We were in the ocean.
I think you might be the all-time probably worst swimmer if you were to do a triathlon.
That's so
no,
Ryan, don't you be shaking your head over there.
He'd have his arm up out of the water. They'd have to pull him up.
Well, if Fletcher could wear a floaty or have one of those float boards, I think he'd be okay. But if he had to go solo mission,
that's what he needs. Fletcher, realistically, how long do you think you could swim until you start to go down?
Are we doing tread water or are we doing swimming?
We'll do treading water for now.
I think based on my experience the other day, I could tread water for life or death situation, 45 minutes. Maybe.
Right. I think you'd cramp up. You'd cramp up well before 45.
What do you think, Sid?
Yeah, Fletcher was very robotic in his treading of water. There's no smooth motions at all. I think it's a generous 45 minutes.
Now, I got a question for you, right? What do you think in terms... Okay, so now you're done with hockey. You're going into the real world. What do you think like your next athletic feat is going to be? Or do you think you're going to take time? Like, what do you think you're going to kind of... Are you going to try to do something athletically beyond this now, like a competition or some sort?
I don't know in terms of competition, but I think with having a little more time now and a little more freedom, I think I definitely want to get into like skiing or snowboarding. I've yet to do that, so I think trying something like that. I mean, I love golf, so I'll spend time on the golf course. But yeah, I think I'm just trying like little things I haven't been able to do because of hockey. I think it would be fun.
I would highly recommend getting into. I ski now, but yeah, I used to snowboard, but now I ski, and it is the best. It translates so well from hockey. It's so fun. I think that is, especially in the winter. Now that you have time in the winter, that's definitely something that would be a good thing to take up. The skiing isn't. The East Coast skiing is a little bit icier, but it's still unreal. So are you going to play men's league is the big question.
Ooh. I think I'll eventually get into it. You know, I just did a tournament in Buffalo. I think it was 2 days, 3-day tournament. It was fun. I mean, I have no problem with men's league. I think it'll always be fun. I think it's just a matter of kind of just getting settled in New York City those first couple months, and then figuring it out from there. So I might take a couple months off, but yeah, I definitely want to stay in hockey. That's through coaching, whatever. I don't want to like completely leave it yet.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you going to have a car in New York City?
Absolutely not. No, refuse.
No parking. It's just
no parking at all.
Ooh. So getting to men's league could be a battle then. You're gonna have to train it with the bag. With the bag.
We have a buddy that lives in New York City now, one of our other classmates, and he takes his hockey bag on the subway.
I did that this past summer. It's
how
not
is
fun.
she gonna get there?
Yeah, it's not fun. I did it a couple times.
It doesn't look fun. It does not look fun.
No, everyone's giving you looks. You still got to walk pretty far.
Say you're probably getting a lot of side looks.
You're getting a lot of side looks, a lot of steps with the bag on the shoulder. Oh, it's miserable.
Little farmer carry.
It's a long
Wait, I just had a question about that. Shit, I don't know what I was gonna say. Never mind, scratch that.
I got one for you. Last question.
Okay.
Craziest thing you saw in New York City last summer?
Oh, good question.
Craziest thing. Probably the scariest thing.
Like
I
anything
saw.
on this.
Probably the craziest.
Yeah.
This guy on the subway was just screaming anti-Semitic stuff. It's like I'm talking, like walking up and down the subway car, just every race, like his own race too. Like he was just like giving it to everyone, and like you could tell like everyone's like freaking out on the subway. Like I'm with like I'm with actually Alex Mel, another hockey player. I'm like, if this guy gets any closer, like I might have to like punch this guy. Like I was ready to fight this guy. Like I was scared. So subway stops, next stop. I have never seen a group of people leave a subway car faster. I'm talking people that probably haven't run in 20 years are running off this car. It was impressive how fast people left it. That was pretty scary. That was the only time I was like, shit might go down right now. Like, but yeah, other than that, like I had nothing.
Was he getting in people's face?
Yeah, he was just like walking up and down, like just kind of like looking at people, like just screaming. I was like, what is it? Like the guy was obviously like not 100%. It's like something was going on, but yeah, it was insane. I was like in the middle of the day too. It was like 2 p.m. I was like, wow, that was crazy. Wouldn't recommend that again.
What if he got in your face? He started chirping you.
I mean, I would just stand there for a while, but like if he like got close enough, like I would push. Like I was ready to push this guy and like sock him in the face. And I think like people were gonna help me out. Like people were getting scared too.
All right, I got one for you, Ryan. I got one for you. You're on this subway. This guy's walking up and down the aisle. He's screaming. All of a sudden, he gets in your face. You've never met this guy. And he looks at you dead in the eyes and goes, yeah? You think you're going to UND? You think you're going to UND? What do? Are you knocking him out? Like, what? Are you scared? Are you? What are you thinking?
I think if that was ever said, I would start laughing. Like I would just laugh and be like, "Yeah, you're probably right, dude." I would have. You have to laugh at that.
Oh, that's funny.
That's unreal. That is hilarious.
I love it. Does that wrap up the epi? Does that wrap up episode 18?
That wraps it up. Let's shut it down here.
I love it. Well,
7:50 in the morning.
Dedication.
Just get my
Utah
day going.
time.
It is
dedication.
Utah time.
Gotta do whatever it takes. Yeah, it is. I was up at 6:15 this morning, ready to go for the pod.
Fletcher just not sending my email.
Yeah, tried.
I was just waiting around.
We were waiting around.
Just hanging around. I was just hanging around.
We were hanging. So a little recap. Talked about Ryan's hockey career, a little bit of junior hockey, a little OJ USHL experience. We talked about his time at Union, the transition from junior to college, and then that 5th year at North Dakota, which is awesome, and then a little opportunity to play pro at the end. Talked a little bit about Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup. And we wrapped it up with some subway stories and some triathlon training. So, awesome episode. I apologize for my horrible Wi-Fi.
That was tough. But good recap. Thanks for hopping on with us, Ryan. We appreciate it. First ever guest of the No One Told Me Hockey podcast, episode 18.
Awesome. Right on.
All right, boys. See ya.